Okay, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of August the 1st, 2025. Mars Chronicles, Chapter 19, The Woman of the Castle, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gunham, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, Creek Indian from Denver, Colorado, and with me is Lee. How's it going, Lee?
No, not too bad.
Cool. Well, I see we got Alita the Killing Angel out there. We got Dracul Kun VT out there, and we've got Bad Man out there as well. So we don't have a lot of folks out there right now, but hopefully we'll get some a little bit later here. So what's happening down there in Fountain, Colorado there, Lee?
Oh, not a whole lot. Occasional thunderstorm and rain. But that's about it.
Yeah, that's what we got up here. It was kind of weird. It rained, and then about 20 minutes later at best, the ground was dry. So I mean, it's weird. That's the way it is in Colorado. I guess it's so dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's odd.
So anyway, I invited a bunch of other folks, to join us, and hopefully Vladi will. Vladi doesn't usually come on during manga readings, though. He kind of doesn't want to spoil the sequel, is what he does. There's Vladi's out there in the chat. I can see that. So anyway, Vladi, you got the link if you want to come on. You don't have to, of course, if you don't want to. But anyway, that is that. Okay, well, moving right along, I guess we're going to just want to remind everybody we still got the LA Fires fundraiser going on. And yeah, Vladi says he might come on tomorrow. So, okay, cool. Anyway, we've raised over $1,500, and it's that money's all gone to the Greater Good charity. They haven't reimbursed me anything yet, but we've sent it to them, so we don't like those folks to kind of be waiting for their money. Not that we've got a whole lot of money we've given them, but every little penny helps, I guess. So there's the link on the image, below the image on your screen there. That link is down in the description. So you click on it, takes you to the website. You can donate. You can put your name in there, kind of like Angelus and I did. I think Panini Freak put her name in there some time ago as well. Or you could do like Vladi did. Vladi just uses his internet handle. Or you could specify anonymous. It doesn't matter. I think Lee gave some money, and he specified anonymous, which is good. Because if you're a little nervous about your name getting out on the internet, that's understandable, for sure. So in my case, my name's all over the internet anyway, so it doesn't matter a whole lot. I think Angelus's name is as well. So, we just say, well, it is what it is. But yeah, click on that link, give us what you can. We'll send it all to the Greater Good charity, and hopefully we can help those folks recover. I think they're well on their way to recovery there, but I think they're still in the mode of trying to get things moving, I guess, because a lot of burning down 2,000 houses is no small thing, so that's what happened at mostly in the Pacific Palisades community, I guess, is where it got mostly hit. So we also got the Alita sequel petition going on, and you can see we're approaching 180,000. I don't think we added any this past week, and I know I keep promising I'm going to put some money in there, but this next week I definitely am, because we haven't been added any for, I think the week before we added 3 or something like that. So that's, we want to bump those numbers up. So I'm going to put some money in there and let them promote it. But there's the link you see there on the image below the image there on your screen. That link is also down in the description. So you click on that, you sign the petition by entering your name and your email address, but you can specify that as anonymous. You don't have to be giving your name or email out over the internet if you're concerned about getting a lot of spam or something like that. Then just specify anonymous. You can also donate to this, but you don't have to. It's not, not a requirement. If you just sign the petition, you've done your part as a Alita Army member. And joining us from Pennsylvania now, I think.
Yes.
Los Nova. Cool.
Pennsylvania it is right now. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you guys had some bad weather over the weekend, didn't you?
Yeah. You know, it's apparently I talked. Well, my parents are in Central, so it's not quite the same as near Philadelphia, but apparently,
yeah,
the worst might be over right now because we had a whole week of just no rain, and now it's raining like the second day in a row. But it's all right.
Yeah,
you need that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of interesting because you remember, as I told you last week, I was flying to Philadelphia. Actually, King of Prussia is where the competition was, where the bench press nationals, and my plane got diverted to Baltimore, and I had to sit in the Baltimore airport for 7 hours, and I was a little worried. I was considering, getting Uber to drive me up to King of Prussia, which would have cost me about $200 or $300 probably. But they finally got the plane out of there. But on my way back, they canceled my flight. They canceled a whole bunch of flights, and I had to stay an extra day in Philadelphia, which wasn't all that bad, So I got to stay in a nice hotel and all that kind of stuff. So you have Lottie. There's no Angelus tonight, I guess. That boy's got a weird working schedule, I suppose. So
yeah.
But anyway, Chaos, if you got anything you want to put in the private chat, I'll be happy to put it in the public chat for you. So you can load it up if you want.
Nothing for now, but I'll think.
Okay. Well, anyway, sign the petition. Let's remind Disney that we want the sequel, and we don't want the Creek doesn't want just a sequel. I want 6 movies. That's what I want, and I want Rosa to be Alita in every one of them. So that way, and hopefully she'll those movies will take off like I think they will, and her residuals will go up. That's what I want. That's what I want. So anyway. And I don't know if Alita's still on Hulu or not. I think she might still be. You might want to check that out, So, but yeah, of course, Hulu's owned by Disney, so they can put any of their IP on there, and of course they put Alita on there, which is a good thing. So. But anyway, Alita, I know for last month, Alita was on Hulu, and I think she might still be on Hulu now. I don't know. Check that out anyway. That would be for American and Canadian, Hulu subscribers, because, everybody else can get Alita on Disney Plus, or in some countries they can get the Alita on Disney Plus. Other countries they can't. So I guess it just depends on where you are. So, and we still got Rosa's Queen Studios bust of Alita. And I said it right that time. I didn't say Alita's Queen Studios bust of Rosa. I didn't say that. So finally got it right for once. But yeah, we want to give this to her as an expression of our appreciation, admiration, and affection for our queen. And, she deserves it for sure. She's a great actor. And this is from us in the Alita Army. This is like the Oscar to us. We really love our queen, and we just want her to have this so bad, And when she's ready for it, she'll let us know. She knows I have it. So, and she did say she wanted it. So, or she told me she wanted it. So, that's a good thing. Let me turn that thing off. I'll turn my phone off here. That's there. So anyway, yeah, we want Rosa to have this. The bust is still in the box. It hasn't been opened, and I will open it when she's ready, just to make sure everything's okay. I don't suspect anything's wrong with it, but it's best to be safe than sorry, I suppose. But we'll get it to her when she's ready for it. And we got the Alita Gaming Network going on. Now, I haven't checked it over the past, say, 10 days or so, because I've been pretty busy and I was out of town, and so I didn't get a chance to look at it. But if you do streaming, I know Chaos will do a stream from time to time, and I think he puts the link for his streams there in the network.
I do,
I
yes.
think, yeah, and then Maxie does that as well. He puts the Radio Chaos link, you know, in the network there. And from time to time, I have been kind of negligent on doing this lately, but the Alita Livestream, I do put the links in there from time to time, but I haven't done it here in the last 3 or 4 weeks. So I guess I need to start doing that again, just so people on the network know, you know, that we have a stream going on Friday. And if you do fanfics, like, you know, Lee is an example, his fanfic, by the way, Lee is going to read some more of his fanfic for us next week or next Friday, or if you're in the future, next Saturday. But anyway, you can put the link in there. If the fanfic is not too long, I think you can upload a whole document in there. I'm not sure how big it is, but what the limit is, but you can do that as well. If you do artwork or you do videos, you can upload those. You don't need my permission. You don't, or Matu. Matu and I kind of watch this, you know, watch the network just to make sure nobody's putting anything inappropriate on there. But we've never had that problem ever, because the Alita Army is really respectful, and you know, we just want to have fun with this. We don't want to put anything untoward on it, you know. So we just want to, you know, just kind of get in there and just, you know, just play with it. We got 3 voice channels. I think I don't know, Vladi, you're still out in the chat, but well, he and Smendrick used to hang out a lot in the gaming channel, you know, and basically what that is just you get people to go into the channel, you just start talking, you know, just it's not a stream, so you're not streaming it to YouTube or anything like that. It's more like a Zoom call or Microsoft Teams or something like that, you know. And you can just get on there and talk. You can play games in any of those channels and just have fun with it. You know, if you want to see what somebody's voice sounds like, you can invite them to the voice channel, you know, and just chat with them. And we do watch parties. Now, we haven't done a watch party in a while. Because
I would think so, and I'm trying to figure this out, but I would have to do it on YouTube with Chrome, because Amazon's terms have changed.
Oh, have they? Anyway, so well, if you want to do a watch party where you're not using YouTube videos, you can do that. But yeah, if they've changed, then yeah, that would be a little different. But you can still do it, you know. And the watch party.
I'm thinking of a watch party because I'll have my birthday is like usual on February 2nd, so I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we usually promote any movies or shows we're going to show that we're going to do in the watch party in that watch party text channel. And if you're a member of the network, you know, you'll get a little notification and you'll see that there's a message in the watch party text channel. And you just click on it and it'll tell you when we're going to have a watch party or whatever. But you don't have to wait for the creek to do this. If you want to have a watch party, you're a member of the network, you can have a watch party. You just go in there and use it. You know, I mean, that's, you know, that's what it's there for, is for us to have fun with. So anyway, there's the link below our little Chibi Alita mascot that you see right there. You click on that link, you'll get an invite, then you can join the gaming network, and it's absolutely free. The only thing you have to do is you do have to have a Discord username, and I think the standard username is free. You don't have to pay anything for it. Now, I think if you want to do something like buy Nitro or get some kind of premium, you know, kind of username, I think you may have to pay for that, but you don't need that for the gaming network. If you just got a regular old run-of-the-mill username, Discord username, then that'll work just as well. And you can get on there and do your thing. You know, you don't have to wait for Matu or I to give you any permission or anything like that. You just get in there and start playing with it. Okay, guys, anything else? All righty, well, let's go right into the Martian Chronicles here, or Mars Chronicles. I always say Martian Chronicles for some stupid reason, because there was a show back in the early 80s called the Martian Chronicles. I get confused sometimes, you know. But yeah, we're now in chapter 19, The Woman of the Castle. And basically this is, I guess that's that guy that he's like that's a spacesuit actually. And if you remember from the last time, they were out hunting for some treasure or something like that, and they didn't find it. So, now that's, they've moved on from that, I guess. And, here you see, now we're going to cut back here to, I guess, if you remember some time ago, Alita and Erica or Yoko rather, Yoko and Erica were separated. And you see that woman in the lower left panel right there, it come up to them and claimed to be Yoko's mother,
Right.
So anyway, and Yoko kind of went off with her and stuff like that. And of course it broke Erica's heart, because she and Alita were really close at that point in time. And it was kind of hard on Erica, I think. So anyway, you see there's Alita or Yoko saying, "Mama, read me a book." And of course her mother, or I guess who claims to be her mother, there's another story behind that. It says, "You really do love your books, don't you, Yoko?" And of course, I think that's kind of a forerunner, because I think in the manga itself, in the original manga, Alita reads books, particularly, So anyway, that's and you can see how cute Yoko looks there on the right, just a cute little girl, and all that kind of stuff, having fun reading books. And kind of reminds me of the time when my grandson, I was reading No David to him. That's kind of what that reminds me of. You know that book, don't you? Chaos? No David? Do you know that one? So anyway, maybe not. But anyway, it's a kid's book. So anyway, it's immaterial, I guess. But anyway, so Yoko's mother starts reading the book to her, and he says, "When we woke that morning, he was a monstrous bug." The end. So I guess I read the whole book right there, and as you see, Yoko's aghast. Holy moly, what a surprise, or something like that. And then of course she kind of wraps herself up like that, like she's a bug. And then of course her, I guess, mother, I guess we'll go ahead and call her mother for now, said, "What are you doing, Yoko?" And Yoko said, "The truth is, Yoko's a bug, so she's playing, is what she's doing. That's why she can't talk, of course. So a roly-poly caterpillar, kind of thing." Now, I don't know if you guys know what a roly-poly is. It's kind of one of those bugs that they kind of look like a little miniature tank of some sort, and when you touch them, they wind up into a ball. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if that's just an American thing or a North American thing or whatever, So, but anyway, so she's playing like she's this little bug, and of course her mother's laughing and saying she's just so adorable, and then she starts crying. The mother does, and Yoko says, "Are you crying, Mama? Does something hurt?" So I mean, Yoko's a little girl, so she doesn't understand, what things could drive adults to react like that, And then of course it comes up with this. Her mother looks like she's out of her mind or something. "Yeah, I just found a juicy little caterpillar, And Yoko says, "He is a trap, gobble, gobble, gobble." And I guess they're kind of playing maybe. And then Yoko says, I'm done for, So anyway, I guess they were playing basically is what they were doing. And then this kind of a dumbass looking guy right here, comes up and he says, he comes into the house there where they are. And he says, "I'm heading out with Yoko, get her ready." So I guess he's somebody of some importance. I think Badman knows this, knows who this individual is. It's been so long since I've read the Mars Chronicles. And then, of course, Yoko's mother says, "Lord Marquis." And, kind of, he looks at her, and then, of course, Yoko's saying that she's still using that tattered old scarf, or in other words, or rather the Lord Marquis is thinking that of Yoko, And then, eventually he says, that tells the mother, he says, well, how many times have I ordered you to give her a new one, a new scarf? So I guess Yoko is really attached to the scarf, and is just kind of, resisting him. And I think she's going to bite him, I think, or something like that. So, like a kid would do, I suppose. And then Lord Marquis holds her up by one leg like that and says, you pathetic imitation of a human. You lack discipline, and then the mother says, please stop, and of course, the Lord Marquis slaps her and said, learn your place, woman. That, goddamn, that pisses me off already. There are plenty I can get to replace you, so, yeah, I'd like to get my hands on him. So anyway, and then we cut back to this palace, I guess it was called the Dornberg Palace. And I guess this is where they were headed anyway, Lord Marquis, and he was going to take Yoko there. But anyway, you mustn't, Lord Marquis, Lady I can't pronounce that name, Kagura. Yeah, Kagura is refusing all meetings. And then he says, move. Why must an uncle wait to meet his niece? So anyway, I guess this woman, Lady Kagura, is actually Lord Marquis's niece, I suppose. And, he says, basically, excuse me just for a minute. Anyway, he says, how are you feeling, Kagura? And I guess she's asleep, I suppose, under this kind of a bed here. And it looks like an old-timey type bed like they had back in the Middle Ages, actually. And, he's kind of holding Yoko in their center. He said, I brought you something I'd like you to see.
Right. Even later, even into the 19th century, they had that because there was, so they have the kind of curtain or shade bed because you didn't really have air conditioning or heating. So it worked for both of those back then.
Well, plus it kept mosquitoes out too, right. I think, didn't it?
And it helps keep it from getting cold in the bed and also the mosquitoes. Yes.
Yeah. So, but anyway, there you see Yoko. She's still, I guess she's still pretty heavily impacted by being ripped from who she believes is her mother. And of course, this Lord Marquis guy, which I'd like to get my hands around him. Anyway, as you can see, Yoko is now within my grasp. And there is no hope of curing your illness. So give up on this madness and relinquish your seat. So evidently, I guess this Lord Marquis is trying to get this woman who has some kind of incurable disease to, kind of transfer power to Yoko. Now, I don't understand what that means. I mean, is Yoko royalty? Who knows? Bad man, you're out there. Let's see, Jams says, Uncle Creek, you read as good as Rosa. I doubt that, Jams. Rosa was great when she read, what was that? She read, that was back on March 13th, 2020, I think. She read, I Will Not. I can't remember
the name of it either.
Yeah.
It was about that kid who was...
Yeah. I will not comply or I will not obey.
That might be it, actually, yeah.
Something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, I've actually got that thing loaded up on my channel too. Lottie actually recorded it. He I guess Lottie didn't, he was kind of disappointed in it because it had a lot of noise in it, but I ran it through a noise limiter and that kind of helped, Didn't cure it, but it helped. So, okay, Jams, what video did you watch last night?
I think they might be referring to the one you were just talking about where Rosa read the story.
Oh, maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, Rosa, that was great. Yeah, Rosa's captivating, man. She read that story and she had over 800 people watching that thing. That's pretty good. Yeah, the one of her reading. That's right, Jams. Yeah, I don't read stories nearly as well as Rosa does. So, just bear with me. So,
I think it appears that we have another case of, kind of retrofuturism in this, like Battle Angel Alita, They're making it look like it's medieval, but it's obviously, the setting is the future.
Yeah.
I'll put the
And
video.
it could be, well, it could also be that this woman has this bed. Maybe she's wealthy. Well, she is wealthy, and she had it preserved or something like that and is using that perhaps, So anyway, this Lord Marquis said, "Wah, whatever." I hope I did that right. Your fox Perwit is gone. No one will protect you now, So soon I'll call a council meeting and they'll agree that the Lord's position must be passed to. So anyway, that's kind of pissing off this Kagura person right here, I guess. And of course, she's got that same damn, you see those faces there on her arm. Looks like she's got the same kind of disease that the Lord, that Baron Muster has. So she's.
I
guess
think
that's
she might actually have something a little bit more than that, because that's a very elongated arm.
Yeah, it
And it
could
looks
be.
like it's got 2 joints in it.
It is. She
Yeah.
does these. Come on, you see it right on the arm right there.
So anyway, well,
the royal family has it somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to wake up to that in the morning, that's for sure. But anyway, so anyway, he's still holding on to Yoko, and she's under that veil, on that bed or something. And then, of course, one of the servants comes in there. Calm down, Lady Kagura, And what a wretched abomination she's become, that Lord Marquis. He's a real bastard, isn't he? I don't like that guy too much at all. So, but anyway, that's that. And oh, look, Russian verboten danger, I guess. I want to go back to Mama, is what Yoko says. He said, "You little fool, you've no idea of your true fate. You're going to be the next Lady of Sidonia, Yoko Dornberg." And of course, Yoko's looking up, or Alita's looking up at him with this, what? Who knows how this came about. And I think if you remember her origin story, Yoko's, it might have something to do with that affliction that that Lady Kagura and Baron Muster have, because I'm not going to give away too much of the origin because it's really creepy. So, maybe they figure that Yoko's related to them somehow. Anyways, this is the power this sorry ass person, Lord Marquis, this is the power you will inherit, So anyway, that's he's trying to convince her. So anyway, he kind of shows them all of this, I guess technology and kind of war machines and stuff like this. All of the the grand military hardware and stuff like that, all of the advanced technology. The Ethnarch of Sidonia, the Odeon Bach, I'm not sure what that means. I guess if Smendrick was here, he could tell us what that was anyway. So, yeah, Alita. Yeah, Alita Killing Angel. I feel like that sometimes too when I'm reading the manga.
That's how you pronounce it, Jan Bach. But yeah.
Okay, but anyway, he says, I just want to hug Yoko so badly. Yeah, I do too. Sometimes you kind of, see, even the movie. At the end of the movie when Alita's standing in front of that mirror, I wanted to, granted it's a movie. We know that, but it's kind of like I want to hug her. Because she's so sad, but of course that might not be a wise thing when she's getting ready to play motorball. May not be a good thing for you to do for her, So, okay. Let me put this. Chaos has got a thing here we can put in the comments, so you guys can check this out.
Yeah, we watched it during a little review session a while ago, but it's interesting. Yeah,
AKA if I hugged Alita like that, was just even though I might have good intentions, yeah, and her getting ready, she might slice me up in 3 parts. Although I don't think she'd do that to her Uncle Creek. She might slap me though. She might would do something like that. So anyway, this Lord Marquis is kind of trying to convince Yoko that, you know, hey, you got a really you know, kind of a really royal kind of future in front of you, you know. So, and anyway, they cut back to this. If you remember, the guys, I guess Baron Muster and some of the others, they were looking for that treasure, and it looks like they're heading their way back right now in this kind of a rover looking thing. Kind of looks like one of those vehicles that if you saw The Martian with Matt Damon, it kind of looks like one of those, doesn't it? Well, you know, where there's kind of riding.
Well, even that vehicle in The Martian was based off the actual moon rovers that they did in the later Apollo mission, where they had the solar battery powered little rover that they drove around on the moon. Yeah.
So anyway, these guys are heading back, and what's this woman's name? I can't remember her name now. She's a real piece of work herself, you know, and looks like they're falling asleep and all. Baron Muster's in there. He's still trying to, you know, he's got this this location, you know, for coordinates for where he thinks the treasure is. This must be the place, you know. So why can't we find anything? We could have deciphered the code incorrectly, Dr. Hisham, and where the eagle pecks at the eye of the skull offer up the dancing cane. The possibility of producing such a meaningful sentence by accident is simply nil. So in other words, he says that he thinks that sentence is just nonsense. You know, you know, so so anyway, they you know, he said, well, these coordinates must be correct. You know, so they got him out of this book, I guess. Or perhaps this copy of On War, which is what that Sumkriga means, Swy, Volume 2, Swy, has some kind of special physical qualities that must be utilized. This book is not made of paper, but a specially treated animal protein. That's interesting. So most likely human skin. Yeah. I don't think so. I think that book, I wouldn't want that book. With letters tattooed into the surface using ink of some unknown magnetic substance. Its production is utter mystery. It's given a basic examination of UV and X-rays, but that's only a start. In other words, they're testing it, I guess. I recommend that when the storm settles, we return to the castle for a thorough testing. And of course, Muster thinks he's kind of considering that, you know, is what he says. So anyway, Muster's thinking it must be something simple, something obvious we've overlooked. It must be the same as when Erica solved the mystery of the golden cane, only moments after we spent years trying to it is a matter of perspective, you know. So anyway, she's I guess Erica has woken up, and I guess you know, she says, hey, I need to pee, you know. I mean, waking up in the middle of the night, certainly you know, I guess if you do, a lot of times you have to do that. And so anyway, I guess that vehicle's making a lot of noise, because she says it's so loud I can't even sleep, you know. So they're kind of moving along, and she says, hey, Muster. So she's not calling him Baron Muster anymore. She's just Muster, you know. So, hey, Muster, I've been wondering, did the 9 kings use the same map as us? And, yeah, Chaos, can you mute your mic there when you're not talking? That way we don't get the background noise. So anyway, Muster kind of looks, he looks kind of surprised, says, what? Oh, nothing. I just noticed that this isn't at all like the storybook. Good night. Then she goes back to sleep. Then, of course, this Dr. Hisham says, the mind of a child, confusing storybooks and reality. And, of course, Muster thinks, map. The map, of course. The map is different. Pardon, what do you mean? This Dr. Hisham says, you know. The Martian map we use today was produced during colonization of Mars in the ES 200. So I guess that's probably about 200 years or maybe 100. Let's see, I guess ES that would be about 2158, I guess, somewhere in that 2160. And its meridian line is based on the findings of Mariner 9. So he's actually referring to spacecraft that were launched back in the 1960s in ES-16. So yeah, that would be Mariner 9. If ES-16, if it's this 1958, that'd be 1974, I guess, which became the official basis for all Mars mapping. So he's kind of thinking about this. He says that must mean that the Schiaparelli map and the Alt-9 would have been using was on different coordinates. So I guess they have a kind of a different way of measuring longitude and latitude. So those coordinates that he has are probably based on a newer map, is what he's thinking. So the proper destination, once shift is accounted for, is 21.8 kilometers to the southeast. So he's kind of figured out roughly in his mind that they're approximately 15 miles away from wherever it is this, wherever this treasure is supposed to be. Oh, it says down here at the bottom, Mars probe was launched by NASA in 1971. Okay. So, oh, that's right, I guess, and Sputnik was 1955. That's right, I remember now. Yeah. You guys didn't know you were going to, Badman says ES-16 is 1971, although it does say here, Badman, that Mariner 1 was launched in 1971, but that could be that a year later, I guess, or nearly a year later, when Mariner 9 was around Mars, maybe that's where 1972 is, I guess, Badman, so you might be right about that. Sputnik was 1957. Okay. You think I would know that. So anyway, but I guess I don't. So anyway, this thing's about 15 miles to the southeast, from where they are, or southeast, whatever. So anyway, it says here in the notes up here, 16 days later after the Haboob had passed, in other words, that big sandstorm, Muster's party headed for the corrected coordinates. So they've kind of said, okay, we're going to head down here 15 miles away. There they found a very odd rock formation. So maybe they're on to something. And you can see in the middle of the smooth, sheer rock wall was a single jutting formation, sharp and wicked. It looked quite unnatural. Actually, I don't know if that's all that unnatural looking. Anyway, could be. In fact, there were obvious signs that it had been artificially formed, but nothing suggested an eagle or a skull at first glance. And that could be because maybe the sand has covered it up, maybe. And of course, that guy in the spacesuit right there is kind of looking on to this. And I think this woman's name is Zoe. Is that right, Badman? Did I get that right?
Yeah, Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, they're all in there trying to figure it out. And the guy, I guess, Erica's pet, I guess you would call him, because she rides him like a horse, I guess. Anyway, it says it means the position of the sun is important. So he's looking at, it looks like he's got a laptop there or something. And there's the eagle thing I guess they were talking about. Oh, the rock shadow. It's turning into an eagle. So there you see, it looks like the eagle is pecking out the eye that you would see in this, whatever this formation is right here. At noon on winter solstice, the rock shadow becomes perfectly formed eagle that overlaps the skull, a relief emerging from the face of the cliff. So somebody must have etched that out of the cliff, I guess, and somebody must have put this rock formation artificially embedded that in the cliff. It says, where the eagle pecks at the eye of the skull. Just like we thought there's a little hole here. So, they've discovered, maybe a possible entrance. offer up the dancing cane, you know. So anyway, I guess they've got something to drill with to get down into it, I suppose. I see Angelus is out there, and he says, Hoka, hey, Alita Army, playing dirty, streaming, release October 1st. Angelus, you're playing a game. You should be on here with us. Anyway, that's all right. So he might still be at work. So anyway, they all put their spacesuits on. They're going to go check out this spot where they're drilling this hole, I guess. And, you know, they kind of drill through it. And this guy says, ha, you know, observe, I have arrived at last. You know, I don't know what he means by that. So, and then, of course, the entrance to the legendary estancia. So they find something. And of course, the doctor and the guy in the spacesuit, you know, they kind of shake hands. Is thank you, Dr. Hisham. Couldn't have happened without your help. Well, if you say so, I suppose you're right. You know, so anyway, I think possibly Erica had more to do with finding it than that doctor, but okay. Here, a small token of my appreciation. And of course, his eyes are wide, man. So anyway, boom, you know, he blows him away, you know. So I guess they don't need him anymore. And Erica thinks it's funny, you know, ha ha, you're in a good mood, muster, now prepare yourself, you know. So anyway, it looks like it's been weeks since I got to kill anyone. Thought the withdrawal was going to kill me. Were you always going to kill Dr. Hisham? The treasure of Mars is right before. He said, of course, the treasure of Mars is right before us. So they have found something in this entranceway or in this I guess, structure. And then that's pretty much it. So they have found the structure where, you know, that hopefully where they think this, I guess this treasure is, whatever this treasure is. And I guess Muster thinks he's going to be able to do some cool stuff with it and that kind of thing. What's this? Yeah, that's right. That's right, Bad Man. Play dirty. That's something I want. I think, is that streaming, Bad Man? Put that in the chat because I want to see that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right too, Bad Man. Yoko, you know, I guess she wasn't a human child for very long, if she was at all, because it's like he was saying, before she was 3 years old, she was a total replacement cyborg. I guess they didn't use that term until later, maybe. Yeah, they don't really say. Yeah, that's right. What's streaming on October 1st on Radio Chaos, Angelus? What?
What he was just talking about. Play dirty.
Well, is on Radio Chaos? Or are we going to announce that on Radio Chaos? Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got here. Lee says, theme does and Laga Alita never really had a human body. That's right. It's rather strange. Kashiro came up with her in the movie. They don't say, yeah, that's right, Lee. Yep. So anyway, guys, that's it. So we got kind of two storylines going here. We got, you know, we got Yoko, you know, being ripped away from who she thinks her mother is, you know, and
apparently being used as a pawn in some kind of royal power play.
Yeah, I think so, you know.
And Baron Muster finding some kind of ancient artifact that he's been looking for a long time.
Yeah. So it looks kind of like, you know, that Yoko is happy as she's a little girl. She's got her mother's, you know, in her mind, her mother's going to read her a book, you know, and she really likes it. And they're playing, you know, she's playing like she's one of these bugs. And, you know, her mother, you know, who she thinks is her mother is, you know, they just kind of play with that, you know, and said, I just found me a little juicy little caterpillar, you know, and then they're just kind of messing around. And then this dumbass shows up. Yeah, he looks like somebody that's. Yeah, I don't like that guy. Anyway, yeah, Lord Marquis. Anyway, takes Yoko away from who her mother, of course, slaps the crap out of her because she resists him. Yeah, it takes a tough man to slap a woman, doesn't it? Yeah, you dumbass. So anyway, they go to the castle where this Lady Kagura is, and of course this Lord Marquis is saying, "Hey, look, I got your replacement here." Basically, is what he's saying, you know. So yeah, hey, you're going to die soon anyway. Basically, is what he's putting on her, and you know, you may as well just go ahead and transfer power to this little girl, you know. And I guess they figure since she's a little girl that they can control her, you know, that kind of thing, you know. So, that's right, Angelus. Okay, we're going to announce this on Radio Chaos. Okay, cool. Angelus is kind of giving us a preview of what's in the news, I guess, you know. And then, of course, this Lady Kagura, who's probably, well, she's afflicted probably worse than Baron Muster is, you know, with these, I guess, human face tumors or whatever they are.
Mask tumors. Yeah,
yeah, mask tumors. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, it's makes your skin crawl, doesn't it? So anyway, he's, you know, basically he thinks, well, that's his niece too, by the way. So he's not a very good person. What a wretched abomination she's become, you know. So anyway, now he shows Alita that, hey, look, you're going to inherit all of this power, all of this technology, and all of this, you know, just wealth, I guess, is going to be yours because you're going to take Lady Kagura's place. And then, of course, then it cuts over to Baron Muster still trying to find that treasure. And, of course, Zum Kriege, which means on war, Volume 2, SWY, by this guy named Karl von Clausewitz. Anyway, that's I guess that's the author of the book here. And, of course, they figure out, Erica helps them figure out, you know, that, hey, it's a different map, you know. So yeah, she had more to do with finding the treasure than Dr. Hissam had. So anyway, and of course, Muster
wakes up, drops a major clue, goes back to sleep. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, she's oblivious. She just, you know, okay, I went to the bathroom. Now I got to go back to sleep. So, so there you go. So anyway, then of course they go to that spot where they see the eagle pecking at the eye or something. And you know, they go there, find the opening in the hole in the wall there, or in the not the wall, Jesus, on the cliff face. And
right.
They enter that, and then of course after that they kind of celebrate. Then this guy, I don't know who this guy is in the spacesuit. He actually shoots the doctor. So you know, that's he says, "Wow, I haven't killed anybody for a while. I was wondering if I was going to have withdrawal." So kind of a psychopath himself, you know.
Oh, I figured he was going to be killing any possible loose ends.
Well, probably too, because maybe he knew a lot, you know, and that they wanted once they found the treasure, they didn't have any use for him anymore, and he might be a liability, you know, if there was an investigation or something like that. So, so anyway, that's that. So that's the end of that one. The Lady of the Castle, which happens to be that Lady Kagura, you know, who's
in the canopy bed,
yeah, pretty sad shape, I think. So anyway, any thoughts, guys?
Well,
what's this guy's name that's Erica's pet? What's his name again?
I can't for the life of me remember. Badman might remember.
Yeah, Badman, you know who it is. Oh, yeah, I guess the guy in the spacesuit. Yeah, you're right, Badman. This guy This guy here is Baron Muster, I guess, isn't he?
Yeah, that's very
So
much.
yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Damn Jam. Okay, that's his name. Yeah. Damn Jan. Yeah, that's Erica's pet. So, and what's Erica, about 8 years old, and she's got a human pet already.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's fucked up, isn't it? But anyway,
Just a bit.
Well,
yeah.
yeah. I think it's some kind of scavenger, like a vulture pecking at it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's kind of a ruthless bastard, that Baron Muster, isn't he?
That's putting it mildly.
When does Alita find she has special abilities? Well, Jams, I'm not sure about that. Of course, when she gets the berserker body, I think that's when she really, has additional, like the plasma weapon and some other things. I think in some of these other.
Well, I was going to say, when she's old enough to start taking lessons and training in Panzerkunst is when they start finding out just what kind of a special fighter she is.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be for some years yet.
Yeah, that's going to be quite a ways away, because she appears to be like 6 years old at this point, and
I think she's even younger than that.
Yeah, she might even be 4 years old. Yeah, that's right. And she doesn't really get into they don't call it the armed military in the manga, but she does go into the military, and it's not till she's 17. So
I think it's a mercenary outfit she joins, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a mercenary outfit.
Yeah, and
she's
manga,
like
mercenaries.
Yeah, so she's like 17. In the movie backstory, she's also 17. So we got a ways to go yet. Plus, she doesn't really have special abilities, even when she gets in the military, until they put her in the berserker body. Then she does have special abilities, but she's in a standard training body before then. So, kind of reminds me of The Hobbit, is what.
Yeah, she's an excellent fighter. She is a extremely talented fighter.
Yes.
With an indomitable will.
Yes. Well, we know our girl's got an indomitable will. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, there's the sketch of Dr. Hisham. So anyway,
the late Dr.
The late Dr. Hisham, because as soon as he pulls the trigger, then he's the late Dr. Hisham, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, he is a psychotic bastard, isn't he?
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see in the next episode what this treasure is, or even if it exists. Yeah.
Well, apparently something exists in there because, they found that hidden vault.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see Eric is already going down that path, the dark path, because, Muster shoots Dr. Hisham, and then Erica laughs and says, "Oh, you're in a good mood," that kind of thing. What? You just killed somebody. Come on, give me a break. So anyway, so she's heading down the bad path, I guess. So. All right, guys, any thoughts?
Many of the characters are about as warped as I was expecting them to be.
Yeah, that I guess that Lord Marquis is warped. Mm-hmm. That Lady Kagura is warped. Muster's warped. Zoe is warped. All these people are warped.
Erica's getting warped.
Yeah, Erica's getting warped.
No honor amongst thieves, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, no honor amongst treasure hunters, thieves, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Bad Man says Erica at this point's probably between 3 and 4 years old. Yeah, so she's not 4 until she gets reunited with Erica. So did I say Erica was 3? I meant Yoko was 3 or 4. Yeah, so yeah. So anyway, Jams, yeah, she's a good 13, 14 years away from kind of figuring out, that she has, or she receives the training and then figure out she has some special abilities, particularly when she gets that plasma weapon. That's when the special abilities, I guess, come about. So, all right, guys, I think that's about all I got here. So we might have a pretty short stream tonight, I think.
Yep.
What's this? A bad man says, Panzer Künstler forces are typically cyborgs, but none other have organic bodies. Yeah, to that I would say, bad man, too, that a lot of the techniques in Panzer Kunst, now Panzer Kunst is a fictional martial art, we know that, but a lot of the techniques are similar to other karate and kung fu techniques. The big difference is the techniques, a lot of them in Panzer Kunst, can't be carried out by somebody who's organic, because it, like a punch, and as an example, you'd break your hand, whereas a cyborg is different, so, and like, for instance, when Alita, now this is from the movie, but when Alita cleaves off Gerwishka's arm, nobody in today's martial arts world can actually cleave off somebody's arm with a kick, I mean, if it's, as long as they don't have a blade on them or something like that, so, and that's what we're talking about, because the cyborgs are built of materials that are force resistant, more force resistant than, say, a human hand if you punch, or a human foot if you kick. So anyway, and Alita the Killing Angel said, interesting how Yoko is into books. Nora Boris Archer, original, and she says she prefers to read. Yeah, that's right. That's kind of like foreshadowing a little bit here, isn't it? So, okay, guys, anything else?
Nothing really jumps out at me.
Chaos, anything jump out at you? I think you're muted there, Chaos.
I might be otherwise occupied.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so anyway, that's Mars Chronicles chapter 19. Muster kills Dr. Hisham. I guess Lord Marquis takes Yoko away from her, quote, mother, unquote. And Erica's going down the dark path, and that Lady Kagura is just a wretch. That's what she is. She got that incurable disease of mass tumors, just like I guess like Baron Muster does. So,
yep.
All right. Okay, guys. I guess. Well, I guess we kind of went over this already, right? I guess my only reaction to this would be it just shows how fucked up all these people are, in terms of,
seems to have a very dark take on a lot of this aspects of the story. People in power tend to be very corrupted and warped, which I can't disagree with that assessment myself. But I mean, it was kind of one of the things that I always saw in a lot of his stories, that people seem to just ending up meeting brutal ends, sometimes for no reason or no fault of their own in his story.
Yeah, I mean, and of course they're all, well, I don't know if that Lord Marquis is particularly a psychopath, but he's, he might be like a sociopath or something like that. But
close enough for my books.
Yeah. And of course, we know that Baron Muster is a psychopath. So, I mean, he's very little regard for human life. So, and I wonder if Kishiro had some deeper meaning in embedding this into a lot of his characters, or if he was just telling a story, Yeah.
Well, if there's a interview with him out there somewhere, maybe somebody asked him about that.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, I guess we hit that one hard enough, I guess. Any other topics you may want to talk about there, Lee or Chaos, if you're back?
Well,
I think next week, folks, we're going to have Lee's going to read 2 or 3 chapters, depending on how much time.
Probably just
And,
2. It might be
yeah.
safe to keep it to that.
Yeah, I think so. So
I wouldn't mind doing 3, but I think that might make things a little long.
Yeah, it might put us into the 4-hour area. So that,
Yeah.
of course, the Creek has been known to do 4-hour streams, but yeah, you're right, Lee. So we'll get at least 2 chapters in, I think, and I very much like that reading because it's, I mean, hey, it's okay, it's a fanfic, but for me, it kind of has the same kind of punch, I guess, as say reading the manga to me, because it's a story about someone we're familiar with, of course, fictional
Or have
character
gotten
we're
to be
with.
familiar with, at least, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, it's got Alita in it, and anything with Alita in it, I'm gonna like. So
Yeah.
And I think the next couple of chapters we come into the couple of funny scenes, don't we, to where she kind of gets on.
Things start getting a little more interesting, hopefully. They start
Yeah.
planning that trip out to where Jason arrived.
Yeah. We're going to come to the part where she throws that protein bar at him, too. I think that's... Yeah. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Or something to that
We
effect.
left off on chapter 10, I think. Yeah, so
Yeah.
11, 12. Yeah, that'll be including those 2 chapters.
So anyway, spoiler alert. Sorry about that. So,
I think it's
all right. Yeah. Did we miss anything, you guys?
I think that pretty well covered it.
Yeah, I think so too. We might need to start doing 2 of these on a manga reading because it's just 1 hour. So we could probably get through 2 volumes or 2 chapters of the Mars Chronicles.
Well, it depends on how fast Kishiro's bringing them out. If he's not bringing them out very fast, you might want to pace yourself a bit so you don't.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's true. And 1 hour is a pretty good stream anyway. So yeah, you're right, Lee. I think. Yeah. Okay, well, as you can see from that center panel, Alita does love her Uncle Creek. And that's because he wants a sequel just like she does, and just like we all do. So anyway, and if you have a problem with that, if you have a problem with either a sequel or you have a problem with her loving her Uncle Creek, take it up with her, and you can face that plasma weapon if you want to, And there's our queen, Rosa, right there. Of course, Rosa is great in my book. She is, in terms of being an actor, she's #1, man. She's just really, she's magnificent. And I know I say this at every stream, but seeing her up on stage, man, it means just, it's a kind of a lifetime
You can't help
experience.
wax poetic about her.
That's right, I can't. That's right. She's great, man, and just really good to her fans. She was really nice to Charlie and I. So, that's pretty
Well,
cool.
everything I've seen and heard about her seems to back all that up. So she seems like a really great person.
Yeah. Yeah. She's fun to talk to too. I mean,
and very talented.
Yep, exactly. So also want to give shout outs to pushed the wrong button, Creek. Yep. Shout outs to El Lamont and Jesse Fisher. They brought Screwhead to life. And what I want to see is Screwhead come back in the sequel and team up with Alita, to take on Joshigan in Motorball, is what I want to see. And maybe her and Alita make up somehow. I think Elle was saying something like, she's pretty pissed off about the whole situation about being used by Vector and stuff like that. And she said, okay, Alita, I'm with you, girl. Let's just burn it all down. I think is what Elle said. So it was pretty funny. So yeah, I do want to see Screwhead come back, and of course, Jesse Fisher, as Elle said during the interview, that she was the most badass stunt woman she ever worked with. So I mean, that's really high praise because Elle's been around. She's a great actor herself. She's been in a lot of films, so she knows what she's talking about. So anyway, so we want all 3 of them in the sequel. That's what we want. And of course, the Creek wants 6 movies, not just 2. I want 6. Okay, hear me, Disney. Damn it.
I'm going to go a little further and say I want 9, a full trilogy.
Okay, well, I'm not going to argue with you.
Or a full trilogy of trilogies, I should say.
Trilogy of trilogies, yeah.
Yeah, 3.
Take us all the way through the Zot. You know, that'd be pretty cool.
I'd be happy with
So,
that.
yeah, I would too.
Hmm.
Let's see, we got some folks. So we have 37 chapters left in Mars Chronicles. Well, we have a total of 37 chapters, and I think 19. We got 18 more to go, I guess.
Yeah,
Yes,
gone through quite
yeah.
a few of them already.
Yeah, Rosa is cute. There's no. She could play Yoko too. Yeah, possibly. I mean, who knows what they can do with motion capture these days? You know. Yeah, Jams Rosa is. She's an amazing lady. That's for sure. She is definitely that. You know. So anyway, don't get the creek start waxing lyrical, you guys. Jesus.
We'll be here another hour.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, Badman says there's 56 chapters in the Mars Chronicles, so we got 37 more chapters to go. So,
Okay.
All right.
so we're good.
I didn't
We're good.
realize there was that many out there. Okay. Well,
Because
Well, I knew there was.
it's more than one per volume, so each volume
Yeah.
is multiple chapters, like 4 or 5. So
Yeah, something like that. There's a ton of content, you know. So you know, we got enough content to last us for a while anyway. So okay, tomorrow on Radio Chaos, we're going to do another a manga reading, and this is going to be Gunham. I guess Binging Angel, I guess is what AA means. No Brainer Challenge 1 Revelation. And I think AA means a binging angel, if I'm not mistaken. Maxie will let me know tomorrow. So, yeah, join us for that because it's another manga reading. And we like to kind of sync up with Radio Chaos here when we do manga weekends, where we do a manga reading on the Alita Livestream, and then Radio Chaos does a manga reading on Radio Chaos
makes it easy
stream.
to keep
So,
track of.
yes.
next week I'll play Gundam Martian memory music because I do not get copyright striked for it yet. The whole album.
Ah. Well, when you get that copyright, it's not a strike, is it? I mean, they'll let you use it. You just can't monetize it.
Right. I don't get any penalties for it yet. It's video game music, but it is
Yeah.
Battle Angel music, so I'll play my whole I'll play the whole album, including ones you can't just listen to on the CD by reading the audio, the game CD, but that's hard to get too.
Okay. Okay.
Unless you're me who ordered it from Japan at about $80. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, then check out
Next
check out
Saturday, Gundam Martian memory music in the morning. Well, in the morning for me, wherever your time zone is. So
Yeah.
I'll have a time and I'll mention in the Discord.
Cool. Yeah. So check and probably you can check out Chaos's channel on YouTube too, and you'll probably get a notification on it. So
That works.
yep. And we are the Alita Army. We are the most positive fandom on the internet. We support Alita and Rosa Salazar passionately and positively. And you guys know we've done a lot of campaigns and fundraisers. We've done that to, help out, folks in need and stuff like that. Like we've had some really good, results, helping out folks with Open Bionics. Like the last one we did with Open Bionics with that young lady named Maria, where, she got her a hero arm, and that was really rewarding, because I got to talk to her and her family over a Zoom call, and it's really nice to see some deserving individual get something like that, So yeah, really nice. So anyway, that's that. But that last bullet there, that's for Disney. We're not going anywhere, Disney. You're going to give us that sequel, and if you don't, we're just going to keep staying here. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. I mean, if you think you're going to wait us out, you really messed up on that, because anybody, particularly with me, anybody that knows me knows that once I get onto something, I'm like as they would say down south, I'm like a dog on a bone.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to give us that sequel, and I'm going to stay after it. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of what we are about the Alita Army. We want the sequel. Why is that image there? Well, that image is there because I like it. And as to paraphrase Gruishka, I'm only here for our girl and the Alita Army. And of course, all of us are here only for our girl and the Alita Army and our Queen Rosa. We're here for all three. We want the sequels. Give it to us, Disney. We're not going to give up. Just give it to us. Okay? Yeah, James, that image is nice, isn't it? That's the Imaginos body right there. Well, since she's got the wings, I guess it would be an artist's conception.
It seems
of the
like a little bit
Imaginos
of a
body.
mashup between the Imaginos and the Motorball body.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe even with a touch of the Berserker body in there too. But yeah, but since she's got the wings, I guess maybe that is the Imaginos body. Maybe, who knows? So that just brings us up to one thing, and that would be the call to action. That would be on my count of three. 1, 2, 3. Film those sequels, baby. So anyway, we'll see you next week on the Alita live stream when Lee reads his fanfic, and tomorrow we will see you for a manga reading on Radio Chaos. Bye.
Take care, guys.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita live stream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.